Prime Minister has just said that tech firms need to stop children from sending and receiving nude photos on their phones, or he's threatened the government will force legislation on that. What is your reaction?
I think we need to go much further than that and get children off social media. Social media is not for children, it is for adults. Those platforms are designed to be addictive. The algorithms they use are there to keep you on as long as possible. Even adults struggle with this, but those companies should not be profiting off our children's attention. It is causing huge increases in anxiety and depression and all sorts of issues with mental health. Companies should not be profiting off our children's mental health. The Prime Minister needs to go further. Let's have a full ban on social media for under 16s.
So do you back the move today, but you just want it to go further?
I think that the move today is an idea without a proper plan behind it. I don't want to see children being able to send nudes, but I don't know exactly how the government is looking at this. A much simpler way of dealing with these things is getting children off social media rather than piecemeal measures that are tackling the problems issue by issue. We've got to go much further than that.
And there are reports that the full-on ban will come in the coming days, and some people have called for that to go up to 18 rather than 16. What do you think?
I think that 16 is an appropriate age for children to start using social media. The more we do to keep them off these platforms that are designed to be addictive, the less we will have to worry as they get older. It's important that children understand what social media is before they become adults. That's why I think 16 is the appropriate age for an age limit rather than 18.
And on the Henry Novak murder, various figures from the US have kind of waded in with opinions on that in the last few days. J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth. What is your message to them?
So a lot of people will have their own opinions and theories about what happened to Henry. My view is that Henry's murder was a tragedy, and there is a court case which has sentenced the murderer. I think he should have been in for much longer. I do think that there are issues with policing. I'll be giving a speech about that, because what people want to see is politicians offering solutions and fixing the problem rather than just commenting as if they're TV news presenters. We don't need more and more commentary. We need answers and we need solutions, and that's what I and the Conservative Party are working on right now.
Have you spoken to any US counterparts, anyone over there, about them commenting on this?
Yes, I have, but those are private discussions, because I think it is important that where there is feedback and criticism, that it is done through private channels. I don't like it when I see President Trump being overtly critical about Europe or our government on social media. The only people who are happy when allies are having a war of words are countries like Iran and Russia.
And was it right for David Lammy to tell J.D. Vance that he was wrong?
David Lammy has the right to say what he thinks about this issue, but I do think that there is a problem, especially with social media, of so many politicians commenting about what's happening in other countries. David Lammy and others made very vocal criticisms about the death of George Floyd. That is the justification that Americans are now using. I think we just need to stop all of this endless war of words publicly. People should be dignified when talking to foreign counterparts. Let's keep the negative feedback with our allies in private. Otherwise, we're just helping countries like Iran and Russia who want to see us at loggerheads.
Right, and lastly, you wrote yesterday that you think the issue with policing is institutional incompetence. I was wondering, do you then disagree that there has historically been an issue with racism in policing, or are you saying rather that that's been fixed now and we can kind of move on?
What we need is equal treatment under the law. Equal treatment under the law tackles racism. But if you decide to start treating groups differently, then all of a sudden accusations become facts depending on who has made them. And when we look at a lot of the guidance which the police are following, it is so confused, so unclear, that they are becoming paralyzed. They are becoming less competent because they don't know what the correct thing to do is. And I'm going to be saying more tomorrow. I'll be giving a speech tomorrow explaining what it is I think that we need to do in order to bring common sense back into policing. I did a lot of this work even when I was Equalities Minister. I did not have any operational control over the police. I gave them advice and guidance. They have not followed it, and I think that this is breaking trust in the police if I want to see trust rebuilt, and that's what I'm going to be working towards.
As we navigate this revolution in technology, our North Star will always remain the same: working people in every part of this country. And of course, that must start with safety. The pace of change cannot be an excuse for harm. And where technology poses a threat to our people, to our children, we will act quickly and firmly. Now, you saw that earlier this year with Grok. They allowed their tools to be used to create disgusting, explicit AI images. So we took them on. And all tech companies should know, if they fall short on their responsibility to keep people safe, we will act with the same decisiveness. And one issue is the ability for children with phones to send and receive nude images. Now, for too long, people have been told that is simply the price of modern tech, that nothing can be done, that government is powerless, that parents just have to accept it. But I reject that completely, because tech should adapt to the needs of society, not the other way around. And so if we're serious about unlocking the opportunities that tech can bring, then we must also be serious about protecting our children from those who look to abuse it, from the online predators who target our children, and from the sexual abuse that they enable. That is why today I'm calling on tech companies operating in this country to introduce device controls that prevent children from sending and receiving sexually explicit images. Because this is not an impossible challenge. These are some of the most innovative companies in the world, and I believe they can solve it. But if they choose not to, then we will act, and we will change the law. Because when it comes to the safety of our children, standing by is not an option.